Sorry, this started all the way back at the beginning. Bear with me a moment. So a priest and a rabbi were walking into a bar. Okay, I'm back. So just a really quick review. The tactics that we're talking about, they're on discs 3 and 5. Okay, so if you want to review those discs to get some of the theory and examples, you can go on there. You can also get this from the quick start. You want to focus on the checklists, counter trend trading, and trend continuation trades. Okay, so that's some of the background that you should know that will help you when you're in the market and actually performing. So you don't have to dig around in the whole kit. Hercules is designed for decision support. It's not going to tell you what the market will do. It really is giving you a record of what the market has done, but we can draw some conclusions. If the market has done A, it's likely to do B over the short term, right? Remember, this isn't a trend following system or something that you're going to want to stay in for hours and hours or days and days. Very short opportunities because we don't necessarily want to sit in front of the screen all day. And Hercules really isn't designed to do that. You're going to sit at your desk and look at basically lines just going nowhere most of the time. Okay? So, is there an opportunity now? We're looking for a strong pair or a strong currency paired up with a weak currency. You want to go for the easy ones. You don't want to make it hard. All the junk that's in the middle here, that's just noise. That's most of the time in the market. Cecil's going to talk about this. I mean, most of the time the market is in essence random. That's where the academics will get it's a random walk. Not quite, but most of the time it is. And there are windows of opportunity where we can get in the market and make money. We want to focus on the areas on the chart where we can easily identify opportunity. That's why we use moving averages. We have something on the chart that's a constant. It's simply an average of prices over time. And then when we look at Hercules, if we have the first bit of information, if we've got our trigger, our signal, our little red flag, hey, watch out here, then we can go back to the screen and verify. And then as the trade is moving along, we can keep our eye. Is it still staying strong? Is it still staying weak? So we have a way to monitor the market. Again, supporting our decision. So Hercules will look at the way the market is trading. Remember when we looked at the bar that we create, are people putting things in the slots on the bottom or are they putting them in the slots on the top? The more they put into the top, the higher the market should go. If it doesn't, well, that's good information to have too. So we're talking about the discretionary system. Remember, a discretionary system is simply something where it takes your opinion. You're going to have to look at the chart and come up with a decision at that moment. Is this a trade that I want to take? What Cecil's going to bring to the table is a set of steps where you don't have to get to that point. You know, when you see red or you see green, that's your signal, and you act. The main thing, don't pick the hard ones. This, I think, is the real power of Hercules when you see this. Because think about it, folks. If we are looking at markets that only trend a small percentage of the time, you can sit down and instantly tell whether or not you've got a trade, either by looking at the lines in the middle, or it's cut off here, but seeing on the side whether or not you have something that's registering high or low. That is not a good time to trade. Why? Because people, they're putting some on the top, they're putting some in the bottom, they're just going back and forth. This is where traders get chewed up, because guys like me are trying to chew them up. And I'm trying to chew up the next guy. and he's trying to chew me up. So we go for the easy ones. We can combine the elements of the kit, remember, support and resistance zones, that trigger, okay, he said that there was this thing called a double top, and what does that look like? Well, you go to either the quick start or disc 3 or 5, and you look, okay, that's a double top. So you write that down. That's what this looks like. And then you can come back to Hercules and see, after you get the double top here, do I have some strength? Do I have some weakness? More importantly, do I have strength and weakness on the chart that I'm looking at? Not do I hope that there's strength or weakness because I want to make some money today. That's a real pressure. So this will give you the marker, the starting point. Okay, so that was a review. The process of beating our brains out, I think, is never ending, right? We have these goals, things that we want to accomplish, but it's just the reality we live in. We never get there in a straight line. Most of us flew here. I had a stop in Nashville, and in both cases there was a pilot. Well, I'm sure the pilot didn't just want to quit and walk out because the plane didn't get from Phoenix to Nashville in a straight line. And I'm sure the guy who flew us from Nashville to Orlando wasn't ready to quit because he didn't get there in a straight line. He knows ahead of time that it's going to take minute corrections, and actually now I guess the computers do it, but it's constant correcting. All along the way, we're constantly making these corrections and getting back on track. So we've got to cut ourselves some slack. We've got to realize that we aren't going to get there in a straight line, but it's tougher to get there when you don't have something to remind you. So what I wanted to do was develop something that would sit on your desktop and give you, I wouldn't say a nagging reminder, but at least a constant reminder. Even if it just means that it's sitting on your desk and being there. So these are two elements that I have on my desk, and we'll go through these more later. One of these has the process in it. It's just a real easy binder with typing paper in it. That's what I like to do. Some of you might put this in an elaborate system of software, spreadsheets. That's up to you. The key is to have it. So what's in it? It starts with what I call as a daily skills workout. Now, I'll probably rename that because that sounds like a lot of work. But in essence, we're going through steps that will ensure we're going to get to where we want to go. And in one of our later sessions, we'll actually walk through this. Later on, we'll hand out the elements of this to you. I just want to give you a preface to this. So we go through, we prepare ourselves, clear our desk. These are probably the two steps alone that have been responsible for most of my trading success over the years. And they're really counterintuitive to most people I tell them to. The first one is getting ready. It simply means I gather all of the things that I need or I want that day. My list is a lot different than what you see on here. This next step is life-changing. And if you get just one thing, one step out of any of this, my suggestion would be this one. Put a yellow notebook on your desk, or just a sheet of typing paper, or whatever, however many sheets of typing paper. And when you get an idea, when you have that brainstorm, this is why I call it a lightning rod. When you get that flash of inspiration, write it down. Just write it down. You see, what happens is when we're going through our day and all these things are flooding through our minds, we have these great ideas, we don't really forget about them, do we? They're kind of in the back of our mind. Well, that stuff adds up. And after a while, you feel like you have a lot of stuff undone. So, write it down. The system that I'm going to give you will take care of getting back to that. And then I have what I call a power exercise of the day. where I will go through take a kind of a self-assessment. What did I eat? Did that help? You know, am I wasting time in certain areas? Just a real quick review. And you'll get this. You don't have to worry about writing this down because I'm going to be going through this really fast.